So we just pulled up to a project down in Bergen County, New Jersey. We're gonna be building a small pondless waterfall, 15 feet long, but the cool thing about it, we're gonna have a small stack slate urn at the top for a 360 view. We're just starting to get set up here. We got the mini excavator and the MT100. Ralphie is unloading the enclosed trailer because the back of his dump truck is filled with bag gravel. This is a smaller waterfall, and the bag gravel is a lot more efficient than buying it in bulk. We have 3/4 inch gravel as well as 2 to 3 inch gravel. Felipe's bringing in the excavator into the backyard. The dump truck over there, that 4500, is loaded with boulders, so we can get started today. We also have a special guest today, a little boy by the name of Gabriel. He's the neighbor next door, and it is the most excited I ever seen a little kid about an excavator. He's only 2 years old. He knew what it was. We cannot keep him away from the machines. So once we got into the backyard here, we removed all that grass and then started getting our level. Once we got our level for our basin and little patio area here, we were able to start the excavation for our pondless basin. It is going to be 8 small aqua blocks, a pump vault, and there's going to be a 5,000 Aquasurge Aquascape pump in there. It's about 15 foot long, and up top over there, there's going to be an awesome stacked slate sphere. We're going to remove all this stuff and get that liner and fabric in here, and then start working on that waterfall. You can see our first little tier kind of excavated out there. That's about a 14-inch drop, all said and done. And that's going to meander up that hill nicely. Raphael's marking out that pump vault so we can pull that out of the way and dig the hole for the pump vault. That'll sit down about 6 inches lower, just like a sump would in a basement. That allows the pump to utilize all the water in those aqua blocks. After that bottom fabric goes in, a lot of times I like to use rock pad under the liner. Then we put that liner in there, and now the guys are bringing another piece of geotextile fabric to put on top. That'll protect the liner from the block as well as the rocks as we place boulders going up the stream. After this goes in, we're ready for those aqua blocks and pump vault, and right after lunch, we'll be able to start setting some boulders.
Are you ready?
So we got a lot of the rocks placed in the bottom area of the basin. A couple of slide rocks over there where we'll be able to plant and cobble that area out. This is gonna be a beautiful spillway stone. Next, we're placing the next boulder right here for the next spill. We're gonna do an overlap of liner in this section so we can continue up the hillside. From where Alessio is kneeling down right there, we have 18 inches of vertical drop to go to the top where that stacked slate urn will be the headways for this waterfall. So we're gonna be wrapping up day 1 here, and we got a lot of work done. We're gonna be setting in the second frame boulder for the second spillway in the waterfall. Tomorrow we'll have one more spillway to go up top before we can get ready for that upper stack slate urn. So we're back at it down here in Bergen County for day 2. We're going to be starting on the upper section of the waterfall. Raphael and Alessio, they're working on the edges down below, and me and the other guys are going to start digging out the top section for that medium stack slate urn. We also have one more spillway to do, and that's going to be a double spill in 2 different directions. This is the area that we're going to be digging and excavating, and we're going to be working on this area. We're going to have to dig this area about 8 inches down from patio. We might dig it a little deeper in the middle for a nice little pooling area for that urn to sit into, but that's going to dictate the height of that waterfall. We're going to try to have one spill facing that way towards the upper patio, and the other spill facing down towards the lower patio area down below. Right now, Raphael's finishing up the plumbing. He's got the manifold in there. We got 2 2-inch ball valves, and he's about to glue a threaded T into that 2-inch pipe there. The reason for that T is we can always test the hose if there's ever a problem in the future. And also in the winter time, it really allows us to blow out the hose and the lines and make sure there's no water in there, which is really important because you don't want a broken hose when it comes springtime. Once he gets this all together, it'll go inside an irrigation box and sit level with the mulch in the landscape. Everything's moving along nicely. We did have a coupler in the box, thank gosh, and we got that pipe back together. Felipe's over there putting that sprinkler head back on right now. Alessio's digging this thing out, making it a nice little bowl, like a cereal bowl, so when that fountain sits in here, it can pull up a little bit, and the splashing of that fountain actually lands on the water. And Raphael's finishing up that plumbing over there and that irrigation box. So we're almost ready to flip this liner back. A little more hand digging's got to go on here because I do not want to hit another irrigation pipe. It would be really cool if we saw this thing up and flowing this afternoon. The sprinkler head is back in place and we're ready to pull back the liner. After that, we're gonna take some lunch and then we'll continue setting rocks and start getting the stack slate urn in place. So we are back from lunch and we just pulled the liner back and we're getting ready to set some boulders in the upper section of the stream. Once we get a couple boulders in place, we'll actually be able to set that stack slate urn and get it in position. Right now, Raphael's getting the machine in position though, so we can set the first boulder. Right here is the upper pooling area. That'll be a nice little pool and that's where that urn will sit. We got to work on that drop right there. One drop's going to face over in that direction to give some sound to that patio and the other one will go down below to where the lower basin patio is. So we're setting a couple large boulders in here first before we get that urn in place. Our goal is to try to make this as organic as possible, even though the patio is a perfect curve between plantings and large boulder placement. This is going to look really cool. We're also worried about our splash from the medium urn. We are enlarging the plumbing, so we have a lot of water coming out of the top of that urn. So we want to make sure that we have a big enough splash zone so we don't have water out on the patio areas. We will be able to control the flow of that urn via a ball valve. That'll be in line in the irrigation box that Raphael was working on earlier. So we're starting off day 3 here with a little misfortune. The homeowner did not like the urn. They really came out to the design center, thought they loved it, and said when it went into place, it was a little too tall, and they wondered if we could switch it out for a sphere. And thank gosh we had a medium sphere in stock, so we just brought that down this morning and started putting that in already. So we're starting to get the plants in, fill it with topsoil around the outside, and then the guys will be able to start mulching. I'm working on that upper pool area with Ralphie. He just put the spillway in, and we're moving along nicely this morning, but we got a lot of work cut out for us. Thank gosh we have that Kubota behind us to help us dig some of the holes. So our goal is to try to get out of here today. The most important part is that everything is perfect before we leave. Let's see how we do. We're working on this upper area, adding some tropical plants, some creepers, and we're gonna finish this off with a lot of gravel. That's the new sphere in place. The light is being foamed right now, so that is drying. Once that's done, we can put the top on, foam that pipe in place, and we're back in business. So of course, everything's moving smoothly, and then we get hit with torrential rains at lunchtime. Over an hour and a half delay. Job site didn't turn out too muddy, but it's definitely a little slick. But we're moving along, trying to get the patio in. I'm in the excavator right now, baling soil over to Felipe. We got a whole bunch of work going on. Trying to get some pea gravel in this area, some plants along the fence, and then we got to put those magnolias that are over there in the distance. They go on the other side of the fence here. So the Pondless Waterfall is complete down here in Bergen County, and it came out awesome. We wound up switching that urn out for a sphere, and it looks really, really cool up top. A little more subtle, and the homeowner really, really loves it. As long as they're happy, that's what really matters. I'm happy too, because it looks really cool. Don't forget, if you like what you saw on this video today, press that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. It means a lot to me and my team here at Garden State Koi, and tune into next week for another episode. Thanks for watching.